subject of this week's video is this 7.4 liter, 30 over 7.4 liter. Anyhow, we're going to finish tearing this down, so we're going to pull the lifters, I'm going to pull the timing cover, drain the oil, not in that order, and we're going to dig in and see what the bottom end of this thing looks like. So I'll get y'all set up on the camera and we'll get right into it. Alright, I got my trusty 4x4. It's got all the push rods already in it and one of the lifters. I don't see anything to be concerned about on here. Everything looks good to me. So I'm going to keep pulling and stacking. Okay, all 16 came out except for this one. It is wanting to stay in, so I'm going to go get something to gently pry in there and see if we can get it to pop loose. I'm sure this is not recommended, but I'm not doing anything crazy. There it goes. Just need it a little bit. Get the rest of the way up. Ooh. Yep, pretty sticky. Real gentle. There we go. Wonder how long that one's been stuck. Come on. Wonder if I have any Free-All left. Got a skosh. That's what it took. And bottom of that looks fine. Doesn't feel mushroomed or nothing, but I don't know. Alright, so there's all the push rods and lifters, all stored nicely enough. So we'll go ahead and get this out of the way and keep digging. Okay, so next up we're going to drain the oil pan, if there's anything left. And hopefully we're not going to destroy what's left of that sheetrock back there. I'm going to have to help it out so it doesn't splatter. Oop, yep. Good gravy. So I guess I'm going to be standing here a while. Wonder this ought to work, considering I have no idea what it goes to, and it's just a hunk of cardboard. Perfect. And before I wipe this off, I see a bunch of metal on it, so that's good. That's the first time I've ever seen a washer fail that bad. A little rubber gasket piece on this oil pan, oil drain plug. Interesting. Okay, we're going to let that oil piddle out. I'm going to start pulling front accessories. Or not. Well, Dan. try this again. In hindsight, should have done this when the heads were on. But that little bit of rust in cylinder number 8 is going to hold us still, ain't you? Oh, trying to move. There we go. That's better. Let's get it on out. Oh, Lord. Okay. Persuade. Good gracious. Okay. I'm going to slip these back in. For now. I don't believe I have a puller for this. We'll go have a look around. Okay, I was just kidding. I do have a puller for this, so I'm going to get this crank pulley out. There's a damper bolt. Haven't decided if I'm going to keep that oil cooler accessory or not. What size are you? Really? Okay. Just do it all with the same wrench. I'm just kidding. Left it on here. So we'll try it, just because it's already on. Oh, hold on. Something I learned a long time ago that I still forget most of the time. When using these cheap puller kits, lubricate. Woo! An old Ford or Lincoln with a bad exhaust leak. Okay. Yep, we're going to lubricate them threads before we get after it. Go until it stops. And I'm going to lube that up in these one more time. And go backwards. Well, goodness gracious, you long-winded son of a gun. There it is. So I didn't forget it this time. And it's worth noting, never forget the tip on this. Because if you don't use the tip, you run the risk of ruining the snout of your crank. And then, if you aren't planning on it, you will be replacing the crank. So always use this little removable tip. Also, if you look, all those threads, they might be a little shiny now, but none of them are gacked because we lubricated them. Even though we ran at it with the impact and was kind of relentless and merciless, the lubricant on the threads saved it. So I'm not going to offer up a whole ton of tips ever, but that's a good one. Use it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull this timing cover and we can check out and see what the timing set looks like. I don't think we'll need it, but just to say we did. Who knows, we might need it on those bottom two that run up from the oil pan, so. Oh boy. Take your bets now. How many do you think we're going to lose of these tiny little things? Tripod. Oh. So it's 3/8 are on the bottom. There we go. Nice and clean. No problem. Here's my timing cover separator tool. Real gentle. Come on. Release. Alright. I don't know what the tolerances are here, but I wouldn't think you'd want that moving much, if any at all. And that seems pretty sloppy. This is a double roller timing chain, timing set. Was that like that from factory, or do you think when they bored it out they installed that? Yeah, that's got to be too much slop. Let me wipe my hands off so I can touch the camera. So that seems like entirely too much slop. I know sometimes you'll get slop on one side and it'll be super tight on the other, but I mean, it's droopy on both sides. And this cam gear can walk back and forth just slightly. So I'm going to say that's a no-no. So we'll probably be replacing that. But I'm going to go ahead and get these 3 bolts off. And yep, I guess I am taking this back off down here to get that that timing gear off the crank snout. Yep. Oh, okay. Well, that came off nice. I'm going to stick these bolts back in our cam here. Yes, I could pull the cam, but I want to get this lower gear off first. Then we can start pulling the cam carefully. Because it might be something special. I don't know. Somebody's been in here before. We don't know what happened. They took the time to bore it out. Maybe they took the time to put a fancy cam in it. And that's something that I'd like to know. Well, let's go ahead and pull this cam, if we can. Ooh, more gentle, please. There we go. Maybe they did us a favor and replaced these cam bearings, because those look fine. When I did the 360 for the Ram Charger, it was evident very quickly that we were going to have to replace cam bearing. Obviously, we're going to clean this up and get a better look at it. 774. But for now, I'm going to take this camshaft and go set it somewhere where I'm not going to drop it. It's not going to fall, and if it's good, we can reuse it. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. I believe this is the oil pressure sensor. I'm not too sure. Most of the stuff that I work on is considerably older than what this engine would be. But this looks like some kind of oil pressure sensor, just based on its location. We'll know when oil comes out of it. Yep. Alright, next I'm gonna pull these motor mounts off of both sides and decide what I'm gonna do. This oil filter adapter, oil cooler adapter. Probably just pull those lines real quick. Alright, here's your update. Got the motor mounts off. These oil cooler lines, they just have a little push clip thing to come off, so those came off nice and easy. I did go ahead and pull the starter while I was over here. I was going to wait till it was upside down, but just take care of it now. So now I guess I'm going to clean up down here a little bit and get ready to flip this motor over and pull the oil pan. Okay, so naturally at this point I have lost the piece that goes in the back of this, so we're just going to do it the hard way and make a big mess. And yeah, like I said, big mess. I forgot about coolant. Oh yeah. Just come on out. Now's your time to shine. We're going to pretend like that's not going anywhere. It shouldn't. Okay? Play pretend with me. And I'm sure the rest of the oil is going to come out at some point too, but there you go. There's your view of an upside down 454. Huh? You know it's bad when the bolts are hairy. They're not just greasy, they're like hairy. Some of those feel like they ain't even tight. Uh-oh, we're gonna have to get back there behind that adapter. I am gonna stop for a moment and try and stop the ever-growing river of coolant. Be back. Okay, I took a few seconds and ran the shop vac around the edges. Not that I think it's going to help a whole lot, but the less we get in there, the better. I did get this adapter off. You can see the two bolt holes at the top and bottom of the screen. All it was is you pull the filter off, two Allen head screws, and she comes right off. So now I'm going to bop this on the side, probably right about here, and see what we get. Nothing. Alright, I'm not going to hurt my hand anymore, or risk it. I'm just going to, there we go, a little bit on this side, and lift with your knees. Ooh, feels like windage tray. Alright, I got to set this down and use both hands. Yeah, whatever I see, y'all are going to see secondhand, but it's alright. We're still together in this. Alright. Oh, no. That's bad. You should not weigh that much. Ooh, I don't want to touch nothing. Alright. So, there's our pickup screen. Looks like it's got leaves in it. Yeah, that's not what you want to see in the bottom of your motor. Oh no, I just got sludge all over my phone. 1 second. Well, that was nasty. Okay. Still not right. Okay, we're back. But yeah, so we've got some real nastiness going on in the bottom of this motor. Here's the pan. Also, real bad. I mean, that's like pudding consistency. So, less than ideal. Oh boy. Alright. Well, that's going to do it for right now. I'm going to wash up and we'll get back at this evening, tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, full disclosure, y'all. I got sidetracked pretty good. I think the last couple days, actually. Went and pulled some parts off of the Ram Charger I picked up the other day and tried to fit them onto my Ram Charger, or the not parts Ram Charger. I might put some of those clips right here. Quick test on this AC compressor for the Ram Charger. See if I can make you see it. Alright, and touch. Clicks into place nicely. The condenser is here, and I spent a little bit of time going through and straightening it with a pick. Need to spend a little bit more time, it looks like, but for the most part, you can see through it. So, pretty happy with that. Before I can do anything, I am going to swap radiators, because yes, this one does have a small leak. Anyhow, I've decided to put full pause on that situation because it truly is cooling off and we're seeing temps go. Heater in that truck works great, and the more I started digging into it, the more I was going to have to dig into it. If that makes sense. So rather than completely turn that upside down and mess with it, I'm just going to get back on this big block. We've got 4 more pistons to pull, and we should be well on our way to figuring out exactly what's going on with this block and whether or not it's got to go to the machine shop. So we'll get into that right now. Okay, so here is 1 through 4. I've got them laid out. I'm going to go get 5 through 8. Okay, so we're going to start here, work our way back, get these last 4 off, get the main caps off, inspect those, pull the crank, set it over on the table, and I guess reassess. Alright, bare block. Alright, so no, I'm no expert on this kind of thing, but here we have DD Cleveite 77. I'm assuming that's just more about the manufacturer. Here we have 7 of 94, so July of 94. That's a part number MB2403, and then .010 upper. So what that tells me is when they rebuilt this motor, they turned the crank 10,000ths. So I'm kind of tempted to take it to a machine shop just to have them clean it and inspect it. I think they can x-ray it or magnaflux it or whatever, just to be sure we don't have anything truly detrimental, no cracks, anything like that, because I would rather find that out, you know, before I bought anything for it. But me personally, I don't see anything, but I do know that it puked water out like crazy. And it seemed like it came out everywhere. I wish I'd have videoed it then, but I didn't. So now we're here. And that's that number 8 cylinder, which I thought was going to look a lot worse than it does. It don't look great. This one seems to be worse, but I mean, it's just like dirty. I really truly wonder if just running a stone hone around here would fix it. I'm looking down through also all the lifter bores and cam bearings. All of those look great. I don't see anything that I feel like I need to be worried about. In a lot of ways, the Ram Charger motor was a lot worse, but it runs. All it got was the stone hone and fresh rings. That's something else. Hold on. This number 8 piston here. Every piston ring on every piston was free, except for this number 8 piston top ring. It was seized in the piston itself, so it might have come around within the motor just running, but this way we'll probably just get new rings or clean those up. Maybe there's nothing wrong with them. I don't know. Also, if I take this to an engine builder, he would be able to tell me if there is something wrong with any of these components and what should be replaced or repaired or just cleaned up, polished, and put back in the motor. We're not going to be making a bunch of power, but it would be nice to know that I'm going to put all this together, put the motor in the car with the transmission, and not have to pull it out anytime super soon. So, that being said, I do have an engine builder that I can take this to. He currently has the Big Block Ford 390 of my dad's that we tore down. There's pictures of that on Instagram and Facebook and all those social media outlets if you wanted to go take a look at that. But it should be coming back soon. And if I take this in and just have it inspected and cleaned and, the low buck stuff, not like what's happening with the 390. That thing's getting a full build and it is going to be nice. With that being said, I would take this to him, but I don't know if that's needed. Again, all of this stuff seems to be in better shape than the Ram Charger's motor, but it's also probably going to see a fair bit more abuse, being that it will be drag raced. Now, I ain't saying I wouldn't ever run this down a drag strip. I absolutely would. I mean, why else put a tack the size of a speedometer on the steering column, right? But for now, I'm perfectly fine letting this thing be the little family hauler, grocery getter, errand runner, highway mile, whatever. This thing is tits out of 10. I really enjoy driving this on the road. It's not overpowered. It's not really underpowered. It gets like 10 or 11 miles to the gallon and just drives. Very few issues out of it. It's going to get air conditioning. Not right now. And it's got heat. It's going to be perfect for the winter. As soon as I get that drive shaft in. So yeah, no. That thing, road vehicle. This is going to go in a street strip vehicle. So I'm going to want it to be able to handle a little more abuse. So just taking it to the machine shop, getting that 1 second opinion on what it needs. Really, a first opinion. My opinion is moot at this point. I don't know what I'm talking about. I can turn a wrench, which means I'm dangerous enough to take apart an engine completely. And that's what I've done. Yes, I've reassembled one before. No, I haven't built one that can withstand... I don't know. That one withstands quite a bit. This one is going to need to withstand more. And this video has turned into a lot of me talking, so I'm sorry for that. Okay, so here's the deal. I have talked to a few people, including a couple engine builders, and I am going to toss the crank in, the caps on, and send this to a shop. Okay, all the pistons here are ready to go. They may not go with the block and the crank, but I wanted to make sure they're ready to travel. Timing set's going to be replaced. That's transmission parts. Oil pump's going to get replaced. I did kind of clean up the cam and take a look at it. The only markings on it are on the back side. They say 774. I doubt that it's anything performance, but I'll look that up later. Heads won't go until I hear back about the blocks. About the block and the crank. Lifters, all of them seemed fine, nothing detrimental. At first glance, none of the push rods were bent, so if I reuse the cam, I'll be reusing the lifters and push rods and rocker arms. All those are going to get reused, most likely, unless I can find a very cheap performance cam option. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, if the block comes back and checks out good, I'll probably ship my heads up there. Just, DD Speed Shop says something all the time that really resonating with me, which is buy once, cry once. And that's kind of the deal here. Again, with that 360 that I built, it's never going to see anything too terrible. I might end up towing with that truck, but again, it's not like I'm going to tow something too strenuous for that truck. This car is going to see some abuse, so it's going to get treated a little bit better. Especially since this motor's already been gone through once. I definitely kind of want somebody who knows what they're doing, knows what they're looking at, to go through this and tell me, hey, spend some money on this, or hey, put it on your pontoon, it's a boat anchor. So I don't think I have anything else that we can do at the moment. That's probably going to end this week's video. With that being said, I greatly appreciate y'all coming out and watching this. I don't know the turnaround time on this. I'd imagine a week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We'll see. We'll know more once he gets it, and I'll probably post some updates or something on Instagram, Facebook, the actual social medias or whatever. At least when we hear back. Halloween's coming up, and I typically use my cars to decorate for Halloween, so we might do some of that. We might do a short video next week on kind of what we're doing there. I'd like to really get caught up and get ahead on videos. It would make things easier on me and easier on the family when we're trying to do stuff. And anyhow, thank you for coming back and watching, for subscribing, for liking, for commenting. I enjoy talking to y'all. Most of the time it's on social media, but every once in a while we'll get somebody commenting on a YouTube video. So with that, I'll let you get back to your projects, and I guess I am going to go get a new checkbook.